नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की बोलो श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to the several devotees. All glories to the several devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Sri Balaram ki jai. Balaram appearance day Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Sri New Vrindavan Dham ki Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manoyabhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha आराध्य भगवान ब्रजेश तनयस तद्धाम वृंदावन रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधुवर्गेण तया कल्पिता श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण अमलम प्रेम पुमार्थो महान श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभोर्मतैदं नायत्र आग्रह परः नवनीरदनिन्दित कान्तिधरं रससागर नागर भूपवरं शुभवङ्किमचारु शिखण्डशिखिं भज कृष्णानिधिं व्रजराजसुतं भज कृष्णानिधिं व्रजराजसुतं राधिका सरोदइन्दु निंदिमुखा मंडली वंदिये श्रीपाद पद्म वृषभानुनंदिनी वंदिये श्रीपाद पद्म वृषभानुनंदिनी आजानुलंबितो भुजो कनकायवधातो संकीर्तनय पितरो कमलायताक्षो विश्वंभरो द्विजवरो युगधर्मपालो वंदे जगत प्रिय करो करुणा अवतारो यस्या प्रसादात् भगवत प्रसादो यस्य अप्रसादान् न गति कुतोऽपि दयांस्तुवांस यस्य स्त्री संध्यां वंदे गुरोः श्री चरणारविन्दं वंदे गुरोः श्री चरणारविन्दं वंदे गुरोः श्री चरणारविन्दम्. Hare Krishna. So today is a very, very auspicious and a very special day for us, especially the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, it being the divine appearance of Lord Balaram. I'm seeking the blessings of all the senior Vaishnavas, Prabhupada disciples present here, all the listeners in person and online, to bless me so that whatever I speak will be pleasing to His divine graces, to our Gaudiya Sampradaya Acharyas and His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. So today is actually Shravan Purnima. Shravan is a very auspicious month also, and Purnima, full moon, as we see the wonderful decoration on the altars, the full moon has been displayed. So the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda was not different from Balaram. Is Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushita. It's like millions and millions of moons. Jai Chaya Jagata Judai, where we can get the cooling effect in this burning world. Ano Nitai Vinay Bhai Radha Krishna Paitinai. And without the mercy of Lord Balaram or Lord Nityananda, we cannot obtain Radha and Krishna, especially Radha Krishna of Vrindavan. So a little bit of uh, Leela philosophy and, of course, a little bit of rasa. So we can all be try to absorb ourselves on this special day and glorify Lord Balaram. It is impossible, even if we had millions and millions of mouths and millions of ears, it would be impossible to glorify Lord Balaram. So, little bit of the Leela. There was a prophecy that that Kansa had received that the eighth child of Devaki would kill him. So, having heard that, he actually had arrested Vasudev. And then, upon thinking a little bit, his heart became a little softened. And he said, "You know what? There is no point in arresting you now or taking you into custody. I'm concerned with the eighth child only." So he actually, when Vasudev, firstborn, appeared, he brought it as he promised. And Kansa said, "No, I'm concerned with the eighth child. You can go back home, take him back." But later on, Naradji came to expedite the advent of Krishna. He actually incited Kansa and saying that, "How do you know that it is the eighth child actually that would kill you? It could be the first, it could be the fifth, it could be the seventh. You cannot trust the demigods. They are enemies." So then he immediately arrested Vasudeva and mercilessly killed the first six children. Now, the significance of killing the first six children, as explained by our acharyas, is that they were the sons of Kalnemi. Kalnemi was a demon, and actually, Kalnemi was Kansa himself in the Satya Yuga at one time. And those six of them, when they appeared in Devaki's womb, before the Lord would appear, Devaki's womb need to be cleansed. Srila Prabhupada mentions that very nicely. So the six sons of Kalnemi that had appeared in Devaki's womb were Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mada, Matsarya. And so Kam means material desires, Krodh means anger, Lobha is greed, Mada is arrogance, Moha, delusion, and Matsarya, enviness or jealousy. So these had to be cleansed. And who cleans all these six avarices? It's Guru, Guru Tattva. And the head of all the gurus is Lord Balaram or Lord Nityananda. So, in order to cleanse her womb, Lord Balaram appeared, and by force he was transferred to Gokul, where Rohini Mataji was under the protection of Nanda Maharaj. Rohini Mataji was one of the co-wives of Devaki, a wife of Vasudeva, and she was living in Gokul. And by force, the attraction of that appearance of Lord Balaram by force happened, and he was uh, taken to into the womb of Rohini Mata. And because he was taken by force, that he is known as Sankarshan also. Sankarshan means by force. So he was taken and he appeared in Gokul in the womb of Rohini Mata. And then later on, of course, Lord Krishna appeared. So in order for Lord Krishna to appear, we have to cleanse our hearts very nicely. Just Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpanam Arjanam, Bhava Mahadava Agni Nirvapanam. Our hearts have to be completely cleansed. And the best process that has been given for cleansing the heart is making the most conscientious efforts to chant offenselessly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Balaram, what does Balaram mean? Bala means spiritual strength. Of course, he has got a lot of unlimited strength. He holds all the universes on his head just like a little mustard seed. What is the weight of a mustard seed? Practically nothing. So that much strength Lord Balaram has. So Bala Ram, and Ram means there are many meanings of Ram. The most common understanding is Ram means one who gives pleasure. So one who gives pleasure to the devotees. So spiritual strength and pleasure is none other than Lord Balaram. Ram also means one who gives pleasure to Krishna. He serves Krishna and thereby giving him deep pleasure. Ram also means one who gives pleasure to the Vrajvasis. So that way we can understand the name of the word, the name Balaram. Lord Balaram, a little bit of technicality, is Sandhini Shakti. There are three main Shaktis. Lord Krishna himself is Samvit Shakti, and Srimati Radharani is Haladini Shakti. So there are three. Simultaneously, Krishna expands in Golok Vrindavan. On the right, he expands as Lord Balaram, as Sandhini Shakti. He himself is Samvit Shakti. And on the left, he simultaneously expands as his internal potency of joy, of bliss, Srimati Radharani. Allad means bliss or joy. So Haladini Shakti. So Lord Balaram is known as Swayam Prakash. Swayam Prakash means he has got all the qualities of Krishna, but different color. So Krishna is darkish and Lord Balaram is whitish in color. But in potency, both are same. So that is why it has been described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita as he is known as Swayam Prakash, or also he is known as Vaibhav Prakash. And he is the first direct plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. From Lord Balaram appears the Prabhav Vilas, or the first quadruple expansion. I don't want to kind of make it too complicated, but it is important to bring this philosophy in. And the first quadruple, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha, that are in Mathura. So in Krishna Loka or in Vaikuntha, we find that above the Karmadaksha Jal, the causal ocean where Mahavishnu reclines, above that there is the Brahma Jyoti. Above that there is the eternal abode of Lord Shiva or Sadashiv. Above that is different Vaikuntha Lokas where all the different Narayanas and all the different avatars, they live in their own respective spiritual planets. Then there is spiritual Vaikuntha Ayodhya. On top of that, there is Mathura, and there is the Dwarka, and then there is Golok Vrindavan. So the first quadruple expansion that happens of Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha is a direct expansion of Lord Balaram. So the first quadruple means four expansions happen there. And from the Prabhav Vilas, the Sankarshan, that is, it's called Mool Sankarshan or root Sankarshan. So Vasudeva, Mool Sankarshan or Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha, the first quadruple expansion. Then from the Prabhav Vilas Mula Sankarshan appears another quadruple expansion of Vasudeva, Pradhav, and Sankarshan. And that Sankarshan is slightly different from Mool Sankarshan. He is known as Mahasankarshan. And from that Mahasankarshan, we find that the three different Vishnus, Karanadakshayi Vishnu, Garbhodaksayi Vishnu, and the Shirodaksayi Vishnu appear. Also, from him appears the different Narayanas. So we can see how powerful Lord Balaram is. All these different incarnations or the different subjective portions, like the Guna avatars. Guna avatars is Brahma, uh, Lord Shiva, and Vishnu himself. They also are, Lord Balaram is their source. And like this, we find there are many other avatars like the Leela avatars, Manvantars, Yuga avatars, Shaktavesh avatar. So Shaktavesh avatar is our divine Krishna Prabhupada. Prabhupada mentions that those who are empowered by Krishna or Lord Balaram for preaching purposes and uh, for the purpose of uplifting the fallen souls, so they have been possessed by a special energy, Shakti, Shakta Aveshauta. So these are all different uh, expansions and incarnations of Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram actually is also he is present in five rasas, uh, five different mellows. So what are the five different mellows? Shantras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalaras, and Madhuriras. Shantras means in the ras of neutrality. And in that rasa, our Acharya has mentioned he actually creates Golok Vrindavan. So he actually, Lord Balaram, can you imagine? He is so powerful that he actually creates Golok Vrindavan. Krishna of Golok doesn't do much, honestly speaking. He is only simply the abode of love. He plays his flute and tends to Surbhi Ravir Palyantam, Lakshmi Sahasra Sambhrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Vayami. It has been described that these are his activities. So the rest of it is given to Lord Balaram. The creation of the spiritual worlds, creation of the material worlds, creation of all avatars are all through Lord Balaram. So Balaram also expands himself through his energy as Krishna's paraphernalia in Shantrasa. So we find like the Krishna's crown, his flute, his sandals, his clothes and ornaments. We find the mridanga and the musical instruments that we play, the puja thali. They are all expansions, musical instruments. They are all expansions of Lord Balaram. Therefore, we have to be extremely very careful when we put musical instruments. We should make sure that we don't put them on a floor, bare floor, either on a carpet or some kind of asana should be given to them. If by mistake somebody puts them, then we should be conscious about taking them, bowing down to them, and putting them in an appropriate place because they're none other than the expansions of Lord Balaram. In Dasyaras, in the mood of servitorship, Lord Balaram plays like a menial servant of Lord Krishna. He actually sometimes when Lord Krishna is lying down in the meadows of Vrindavan, he's tired from cowherding. He actually, like a menial servant, he offers and he actually presses his legs. He offers his service by giving him comfort. Uh, and also, if we see that Vasudev, son Vasudev, is actually an expansion of Balaram, and he also serves Krishna as the charioteer in the Mahabharat war. So the Krishna of Mahabharat is none other than Dwarkadish. He is not the Krishna of Vrindavan. I think we have discussed that before in previous lectures. Different. Even Sri Prabhupada mentions that there are many types of Krishna, but we are only concerned with the son of Nanda Maharaj. Aradhi Bhagwan Brajesh Tanaya Stagdham Vrindavanam Ramya Kachid Upasana Vraja Vadu Varge Natayati Pita. As Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we are only concerned with the son of Nanda Maharaj. Aradhi Bhagwan Vrajesh Tanaya. Vrajesh means Nanda Maharaj. Tanaya means son. So, the one who drove the chariot is not the son of Nanda Maharaj. He is the son of Vasudeva. They are different. The one who spoke Bhagavad Gita is different from the one who is performing his pastimes in Vrindavan. So, a menial in Dasyaras. So that is the kind of Dasyaras he is expressing towards Arjuna by becoming his charioteer. In Sakhya Rasa, in the mood of friendship, Lord Balaram, he actually, like a friend, he plays with Krishna, he wrestles with Krishna, he dances with Krishna, he goes cowherding with Krishna. Look at that wonderful painting that has been highlighted up there in the cowherding. How Krishna and Balaram, they are cowherding together. They also argue, they also fight. So that is that's what friends do. So in the Sakyaras, he does all these activities in the mood of just giving pleasure to Lord Krishna. When Lord Krishna in Vrindavan, when he was about 2.5, 3 years old, in the Damodar Leela, he was tied by Mother Yashoda to a grinding mortar. And when Mother Yashoda tied him up and then went back to the kitchen along with the gopis, Krishna started crying, and all the cowherd boys came and they wanted to, and Krishna said that, what are you looking at me? Untie me. Please untie me. And then they all tried to untie him. Even Lord Balaram, he was present and he tried to untie Krishna, but that knot was not, he was not able to untie it. Lord Balaram himself, such a powerful personality, he could not untie a knot. Why is that? Because that knot was tied by Mother Yashoda in Vatsalya Rasa. Vatsalya Rasa is considered from the gradation wise as higher than the other two rasas of Shanta, Dasya, and all the three, and Sakya. And that is the reason why Lord Balaram could not even untie him. In Vatsalya Rasa, or in the parenthood, Lord Balaram acts like a parent to Krishna. When they go cowherding, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and the other Gopas, they tell Balaram, Balaram, make sure Krishna is very naughty. Catch him by the ear if you have to, and make sure that he doesn't stray away too far away. And they're always instructing Balaram that now you are in our place. So that parental bhav or that mood comes into Lord Balaram in protecting, like in the Vatsalya Rasa. And in the Madhurya Rasa, fifth Rasa, Lord Balaram is present as Ananga Manjari. Yes. Now, we will discuss a little bit about Ananga Manjari when it comes to a little bit of Rasa, which is important. For those who like philosophy, there's some philosophy that we already mentioned. For those who like technicalities, we already mentioned the technicality of Lord Balaram's different positions in creation. And then when it comes to a little bit of rasa here, Lord Balaram is Radharani's younger sister in the form of Ananga Manjari. We have mentioned Manjaris are very young gopis. They are younger than Srimati Radharani, somewhere in the age range of 12 to 14 or even 15 years old, somewhere right there. And they are actually privileged in the highest service of Radha and Krishna. We sing this in the Mangalarti every day. The sixth verse, Nikunja Yulo Ratikeri Siddhya Yaya Liver Yuktir Apekshaniya Tatrati Dakshat Ativallabhasya Vande Guruho Sri Charanarvinda. So this song that has been written Guru Ashtakam by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is describing actually it's in Manjari Bhav, what the Manjaris are. Of course, there is a lot of philosophy in the beginning, the qualities of the pure Guru, Samsara Davanal, etc., Mahaprabhu Kirtan Nitya Gita, the singing and dancing in the line for the pleasure of Mahaprabhu, and playing different musical instruments, uh, then offering the different kinds of four types of foodstuffs to Radha and Krishna. That's where the Manjari Bhav starts, wherein it is very subtle, where such foodstuffs are served to Radha and Krishna in the Nikunja. Nikunja means the bowers of Vrindavan, where there is so much confidential service that is needed. So they offer all those different paraphernalia for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. And then when they come out of the Nikunja, Sri Radhika Madhurya Raparam Madhurya Leela Guna Rupa Nam Nam Pratishana Swadhanam Upasya Vande Guru Sri Charnaravinda. What happened inside, even the other Sakis, even the main Sakis, the Ashta Sakis like Lalita, Vishaka, Tunga Vidya, etc., they are not even permitted in the Nikunja. They are not permitted inside that. Only the little gopis, the manjaris are. So when they come out, what do? They are asked by Lalita, Vishaka, etc., what happens inside? Can you tell us? Because they are very, very enthusiastic to hear about the pastimes. So what do? These manjaris, Sri Radhika Madhurya Rupara Madhurya Leela Guna Rupa Namna. So they describe the different pastimes of Radha and Krishna in the bowers of Vrindavan. Madhurya Leela. The word is Madhurya Leela. Guna, transcendental qualities. Whether it is anger expressed by Srimati Radharani in the Man Bhav, etc. Guna Rupa, the beauty, the Sringaras, Guna Rupa Namna. Prati Shanasva Dhanalolupasya Vande Guru Sri Charana. And every moment they are ready to describe. So there are two meanings. There is one meaning is every moment like to preach, every moment to write books. They are always thinking about that. Philosophy. But also in the Vrajras, every moment they are describing the rasa of what happened inside the Nikunja. And they are describing because the Lalita, Vishakha and the other gopis are very much enthusiastic to hear what happened. And they are every moment. So not that it's described and they are done, no. Oh, then you know what happened inside? Radharani, was very upset with Krishna. No, 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 not only upset, but Krishna was wiping Radharani's tears. No, 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 like that. They're little girls who are so enthusiastic about describing what happened inside. So Pratishad, every moment. Uh, Pratishad, and with a lot of greed. So these are Manjaris. So all of our acharyas, in our Gaudiya line, the six Goswamis, our Srila Prabhupada, of course, many are of the opinion that Prabhupada is a coward boy because of that poem that he had composed, Markine Bhagavat, on the Jaldu. Well, the thing is that sometimes those people who are not able to think outside the box, they just take on face value. But Srila Prabhupada, just like Lord Balaram is present in five rasas, uh, he is Krishna Preshta. Krishnaya Bhutale. So one who is very dear to Krishna is possible that he is present in more than one rasa. He could be a coward boy, but also definitely he is in the Manjari rasa. I think between now and Srila Prabhupada's appearance, we have been asked to give a seminar on Srila Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra, Namam Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale. In there, we will be describing a little bit in more detail about the eternal position of our acharyas in Golok Vrindavan, along with Srila Prabhupada's the deeper meaning of his divine graces Pranam Mantra, which he himself composed. So, hopefully, by the mercy of our senior Vaishnavas and Srila Prabhupada, I will be able to speak on that. About 8 years ago, we spoke about that in Sri Vrindavan Dham in Kartik, in our Krishna Balaram Mandir, and it was very well received by many Srila Prabhupada disciples, and they blessed me to continue. Anyway, so that's Manjari. So we find that in Mahaprabhu's Mahaprabhu's Chaitanya Sistastakam, he speaks that Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadava Agni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadu Jivanam. So let's concentrate on this line, the internal meaning. Shreya Kairava Chandrika. The Shreya Kairava Chandrika, Chandrika means the moon, the cooling effect of the moon. And who's that cooling effect? It's Lord Balarama. So the indication of the internal meaning that has been expressed by our acharyas in that verse and in the definition and the meaning is the Shreya Kairava Chandrika. By the mercy of the cooling moon of Lord Balarama or Nityananda or Ananga Manjari. Ananga Manjari. Ananga Manjari, Radharani's younger sister, who is present as in the Madhurya Rasa as Lord Balaram. Radharani's younger sister. So Shreya Kairava Chandrika means actually it is Ananga Manjari. And what does she give us? A Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. Once our hearts are completely cleansed, completely transparent, the rays of the cooling moons of Lord Balram or Ananga Manjari penetrates our hearts through our acharyas. That knowledge, transcendental knowledge, is without any hindrance, 100% purity comes within our hearts, and then we are empowered to preach. Preaching means here Vitaranam. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. Vitaranam means to distribute Krishna consciousness, and then further refined as distributing Vrajbha or Vrajarasa. That is possible only by the mercy of all those who are completely surrendered to Lord Balram or in our Madhurya Rasa Ananga Manjari. And what happens then at that time? Vidyavadu Jivanam. That's a very, very important point. If we understand it as Gaudiya Vaishnava, what is that Vidya Vadu Jivanam? Vidya means transcendental knowledge, and Vadu means we get the bhav. Vadu means bhav of gopis or manjaris. And so Ananga Manjari initiates us into Manjari bhav. Of course, the qualification prior to that is already mentioned by Mahaprabhu. Cheto Darpada Mahajana. We have to be completely cleansed. And then this bhav enters. So just like we get initiated by our respective gurus with the first initiation, second initiation, sannyas, then the ultimate initiation is Manjari bhav. Of course, it cannot be imitated. It is something that will happen. Like we sing every day in the Guru Puja. Narottam Das Thakur has said that Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bandhumoyi Savdhana Mate. Jahar Prasade Bhai He Bhavat Variya Jai Krishna Prapti Jaha Hoite. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Te Koriya Aikya Aur Na Koriyo Mone Asha. And he says that Chakshudan Dilojayi Janme Janme Prabhu Sai Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. So that Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito, ultimate Gyan is who we are, what is our identity in Golok Vrindavan. And obviously because we are followers of Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu came to give us the Madhurya Rasa, the Manjari Bhav. That is what our acharyas explain. So through Ananga Manjari, we get this. So Lord Balaram is none other than Ananga Manjari. Therefore, we find the highest of the highest, that is, there are three different components that our acharyas explain. First is known as Sambandha Gyan. So we have established our relationship with Krishna. And Madan Mohanji, the deities Madan Mohan, they are the ones that bless us with that Sambandha. Who am I? And what is my Jiver Swarup Bhai Krishnir Nitya Das? That is true. But then the Sambandha, meaning the relationship with Krishna and Krishna's devotees, is very important. And that is blessed, that blessing is through Madan Mohan. Jayatam Surata Bongo Mamamanda Mater Gati Mat Sarvasva Padam Mojo Radha Madan Mohana. Then after we further, the process is known as Avidya, the chanting of the holy names, offenselessly, etc., the service to Vaishnava, service to the deities, etc., that is done by the blessings of Radha Govind Dev Ji. So Radha Govind Dev Ji blesses us with that for the process of Avidya, the process to attain the highest. And the third one, the third process is the Prayojan, which is ultimate Krishna Prem in Madhurya Rasa, that is blessed by Radha Gopinath. So Sriman Rasarasaram Nivam Shivatastita Karshana Swaner Venur Gopi Sri Gopinathaya Shreyastala. We actually say these prayers, especially during the Pushpanjali that we offer to our acharyas on their appearances and disappearances. So Gopinath. So Gopinath, in Vrindavan we find to his right there is none other than Janma Mata, who is an expansion of Ananga Manjari. And to the left is Srimati Radharani. So wherever there is Gopinath deities, we have to have Ananga Manjari. That is the process in our Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So Gopinath is worshipped. If we go to Vrindavan in Gopinath temple, there is Ananga Manjari or Janma Mata, and then Srimati Radharani. Both are present in the service of of Gopinath. Otherwise, it is Radha Krishna in Radha Govind Dev Ji Seva, and there is also Lalita Sakhi. If we Rupa Goswami's deities in Jaipur, they have Lalita Sakhi on one side and Radharani. But as Gopinath, Ananga Manjari is very important because she is the one who can give us the internal bhav or the internal prema in serving Radha and Krishna. Because she actually, there are two groups of Manjaris. One is known as the Pramukh Manjari and one is known as the Upa Manjari. Now the Upa Manjari is who? Rupa Goswami is Upa Manjari, as Rupa Manjari. Upa means top. The word Upa or the prefix Upa means top. So Upa Manjari is Rupa Manjari, Labanga Manjari, Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis. They are Upa Manjaris. And they are under Ananga Manjari. They are under the guidance of Ananga Manjari. So she guides Upa Manjaris, and the Upa Manjaris, they guide the other Manjaris, the rest of them. They guide them for the seva, etc. So Nikunja Yuno Rati Keli Siddhya. These Manjaris are so expert in the service in the bowers of Vrindavan where confidential service is offered. Rati Keli. Rati Keli means amorous pastimes of Radha and Krishna. They understand it so perfectly. Rati Keli Siddhya. Yaya Alibir Yukti Rapekshaniya. And under the instructions of the other senior gopis, they perform their services. Yaya Alibir. Upekshaniya, they are always desirous to constantly serve Radha and Krishna in the bowers of Vrindavan. Nikunja Yuga. Tatra ati daksha tati vallabha. Therefore, they are so daksha, they are expert. And therefore, they are very, very dear to Radha and Krishna, these Manjaris. So, Ananga Manjari is such a wonderful personality. We find that Radhakund, the epicenter of the town Radhakund, Radhakund is surrounded by the Ashta Manjaris and the Ashta Gopis. They have their kundas also. Right now, you cannot see them. They are in a subtle form. Just like you cannot see the Saraswati river. You can have darshan of Ganga and Jamuna, but Saraswati is subtle. It used to, but she has gone now incognito. She has hidden herself. So similarly, the Radhakund and Shyamkund are surrounded by the different kundas. The Shyamkund is surrounded by the 8 principal sakhas of Krishna. They have their own kundas or their own little ponds. And similarly, Radhakund also is surrounded by the Ashta Sakhis ponds and also Ashta Manjaris ponds. And in the center of that is Ananga Manjari, Lord Balaram's pond, as Ananga Manjari. Ananga Manjari is the epicenter. Therefore, if you ever go to Radhakund or if you have ever been there and have been fortunate, the home of Ananga Manjari is where Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur built his home. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to stay there. If you are at Radhakund at Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's Samadhi, when you come out on the Parikrama Marg, and before you turn right for Radha Govind's temple, and you continue on the Parikrama Marg before the Jagannath temple, there is a small street on the left. You have to leave the Parikrama Marg, walk about 4 or 5 buildings, and that place is called Swa Ananda Sukhada Kunja. Swa Ananda Sukhada Kunja. Swa Anand means great joy. Sukhada, like sandalwood. Sukhada or Sukhada, giving utmost bliss. Kunda, So that place is where Ananga Manjari resides, where Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur decided to make his home, his bhajan kutir, and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So when you go to Braj and when you go to Vrindavan, please try to visit that. It's hardly visited by anybody. It's a kind of a secret place, but you'll still find Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bed, his chair, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's chair is there, and some of his paraphernalia, including his shoes and his walking stick. They are there. You can have darshan there. Very, very amazing place. You sit there very quiet from the hustle and bustle of the main parikrama marg, and you can sit and chant very nicely and spend some time there. So that is the home of Ananga Manjari, Lord Balaram's home in the Madhurya Rasa. Now, coming back to a little bit of Tattva. Lord Balaram being the Adaguru, he always has to, Guru means what? Heavy. Thank you. Guru means one removes darkness, and also Guru means one who is very heavy. Our Srila Prabhupada was also very heavy. And those of you who have witnessed this, how heavy he was. Needless to say. Because it is out of pure compassion. Prabhupada said, "You rascal, try to understand." Of course, we cannot imitate him. But it is out of pure compassion that Prabhupada would always harp on many things and sometimes get very angry. So similarly, we find one of the pastimes of Lord Balaram is that he kills the son of Romaharshana Sutta. There were about 88,000 devotees or rishis that were assembled in that assembly, and Romaharshana Sutta was seated on the Vyasasana and he was speaking Harikatha. And when Lord Balaram appeared, he did not get up. Everybody else, all the 88,000 saintly personalities got up and offered obeisances to Lord Balaram, but he did not. Srila Prabhupada mentions in one of his purports that one who sits on the Vyasasana need not really get up to greet anyone. But of course, if somebody is very exalted, then one must get up. Prabhupada mentions this. So Romaharshana Sutta had this quality at that moment that he was so puffed up that because he was thinking that he is the disciple of Vyasa. Romaharshana Sutta was the direct disciple of Vyasadeva, and he was thoroughly learned in scriptures. So he had a lot of knowledge, including law books, religious duties, the smritis, the Puranas, the epics, the histories, etc. And all this study has not produced good qualities. Lord Balaram was thinking that everybody is bowing down. Why is he not? So it is not that Lord Balaram wants respect. It is the Guru Tattva that we should. We find in Srila Prabhupada's pastime in 26 Second Avenue, everybody was bowing down after Prabhupada called out the Jai Dhwani, except there was one person who stood there. He never bowed down, Greg. So Prabhupada said that, yes, what's your problem? Why aren't you bowing? Later on, he became Gargamuni. Why aren't you bowing down? He said, Swamiji, I just don't feel like bowing down. He said, no, you must bow down. And then practically, Prabhupada forced him to bow down. And then Prabhupada said, when you bow down, the more you bow down, the more you give up your ego in installments. So it is not that Prabhupada wants respect, but he had to teach that, yes, if there is a guru, somebody who is extremely exalted, that tattva is there, then you're not bowing down to that person per se, but you're bowing down to the Guru tattva. So Lord Balaram took a piece of grass only, kusha grass, small blade of grass, and he killed the Romaharshana Sutta. Because what is the use of all this? Lord Balaram said, what is the use of all this scholarly knowledge, etc., when you have failed to conquer your own mind and your senses? So this particular pastime is in the 10th canto, 78th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, of Lord Balaram killing Romaharshana Sutta. Another wonderful pastime that actually helps us be more humble is the pastime of Dovida, the gorilla that is present in Dwarka. And at that time, during the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, he was very ancient, like many even rishis and sadhus, they are from ancient times. When they heard Srimad Bhagavatam, approximately in the last speaking about 5,000 years ago, from Sukadeva Goswami, there were rishis that were there. Vasishtha was also there, who was in the time of Lord Ramachandra, Vasishtha Muni, who was the actual guru of Lord Ramachandra, King Dashrath. He was also present amongst the 60,000 rishis. So similarly, David, this gorilla, was present during the time of Lord Ramachandra, and he assisted Lord Ramachandra in the war against Ravana. So he had actually done some seva to Lord Rama. And but the problem was that he did not honor Lakshmana. Now, who is Lakshman? Lakshman is none other than Lord Balaram. So he did not honor Lakshmana. So because why? David, because of his bad association. So bad association, Prabhupada mentions with Bhaumasura, Mayadano, Kal Yavan, Jarasan. Jarasan was the father-in-law of Kansa. So they were all demoniac personalities. So even though one may be situated well at one time in our spiritual lives, but if our association changes for the worse, then we can also come into trouble. So through the example of David, he never honored Lakshmana. He saw the fault in devotees. David saw the fault in devotees and criticized them. And he also, not only that, he was so puffed up and so arrogant that he once became naked in front of the young women in Dwarka, along with Balram's gopis. And then he also criticized Lord Balram and told the gopis that how can you respect Balram? Balram is a lampat. Lampat means somebody who is a debauchee. He's a lampat, a very lusty person. He has so much attachment for Revati Devi, his wife. So Lord Balram has two wives, Vasudha and Revati. So he's so attached. The monkey gorilla said that Lord Balram is so attached to Revati, and he's so much lusty in nature. So he started finding fault. He started finding fault with Vaishnavas. So when we do that, then we become like the Dravid gorilla. So therefore, we have to be very careful. Fault finding should not be done. His Holiness Radhana Swami, in one of his lectures, I remember many years ago, he mentioned that it was right here in Vrindavan, that we all love to criticize. We all have that great quality. So, yes, why don't we use that quality in criticizing yourself? If you must criticize, then criticize yourself. So, we should be careful that we should not have these qualities of David. And we should never find fault in Guru. We find that finding fault in Guru is not different from finding fault in Lord Nityananda and Lord Balaram. And we find that some have this, unfortunately, that minimizing Srila Prabhupada's position. In our movement also, unfortunately, we find that Srila Prabhupada's books are not as much as distributed nowadays. Then the respective devotees are very much the second generation devotees. This message is especially for them, that just don't distribute your Guru Maharaj's books, distribute Prabhupada's books also. It's very important, because everything, the source of all our knowledge in ISKCON, all our bhakti is because of his divine grace. We should never minimize his position. Some are of the opinion that the samsara davanal is not Prabhupada's prayers. So this is also not so. We are minimizing his divine graces. Not only Srila Prabhupada, but they are all Prabhupads. Rup Goswami Prabhupada, Sanatana Goswami Prabhupada, Jiva Goswami Prabhupada, Gopal Bhatta Goswami Prabhupada, Raghunath Das Goswami Prabhupada, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami Prabhupada. They're all Prabhupads. And of course, A.C. Bhakti Goswami Prabhupada. So when we sing Samsara Davanal, some are of that opinion. And they go and propagate that we should not sing Jai Prabhupada after Samsara Davanal. We should just go straight into Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda and then the Mahamantra. So this is because they have no idea that this Samsara Davanal song is all about Manjaris. That is so deep in nature, and that is why they say that we should not. And it says Vande Guru Ho Sri Charana. It is plural. It is not Vande Guru Sri Charana Arvindam. A lot of them mispronounce. Guru Ho means Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is bowing down to all those great Vaishnava Acharyas who are in the Manjari Bhav. Vande Guru Ho Sri Charanarvinda. So our Prabhupada is so great. How can we say that Samsara Davanal doesn't apply to him? Every word, every syllable applies to him, not only from the philosophy point, but also from the rasa perspective. So, and what does Lord Balaram do to conclude today's katha? He has a plow, right? And the plow, what does he do? He actually cultivates our hearts for what? Vraja Prema. That is the proper understanding. Our heart is not ready for Vraj Prema. Many years sometimes we have spent in our movement, but how many of us really feel that Vraj Prema? How many of us really, like Mahaprabhu says, that tears flow from our eyes? What is that verse in the Chaitanya Sistastakam? Nayanam Galadashudharaya Vadaram Gaddada Hridaya Giraya Ulkir Nichitam Bapu Pada Tava Nama Griha Nishmoya Yugahitam Nimishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunahitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahename. That the separation from Govind, how do we feel that Raj Prem, like the Gopi Geet of the gopis of Vrindavan? Do we feel that? We don't. Unfortunately, when that happens, then we can say. So that is why we have to completely surrender to Lord Nityananda, to Lord Balaram, so that with his plow he can actually cultivate. Plow is meant to cultivate the land. Uh, Plow is meant to cultivate so that it will fructify into something very fruitful. And what is the highest fruitfulness for us is Vraj Prem in the Madhurya Rasa. So as Ananga Manjari, he does that. He cultivates the field of eternal living entities as jivas by through the Karvadakshay Vishnu, by producing the Tathastha Shakti, which is the jivas, who are capable of going to the spiritual world and also capable of staying in the material world. So, like this, we find that Lord Balaram is our Adi Guru, and without his mercy, Narottam Das Thakur says, Heno Nitavine Bhai Radha Krishna Paite Na दृढ़ कोरी धरो नीताय पाय दृढ़ कोरी धरो निताय पाय. So please behold the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Without his mercy, without Lord Balaram's mercy, we cannot Vraje Radha Krishna Paitinai. We cannot obtain the Radha and Krishna and Vraj. So, like this, Lord Balaram is unlimited, and we are limited. Time is limited. So I end here. Thank you very much for your time and blessing me to speak on this very sublime subject matter on this most auspicious day of Gaur Purnima. Hare Krishna. If there is any questions, corrections, please feel to do so.
I have a question.
Yes, Prabhuji. And I'll repeat your question because you don't have a mic. There's listeners online. Yeah.
Earlier on in the lecture, you said that in the spiritual world, Lord Krishna is not doing very much. That Lord Balaram is doing most of the work. And I was thinking that in Lord Chaitanya's pastime, Lord Krishna, he's doing so much work. He started the whole Sankirtan movement. Later on, of course, in Puri, then he took a break after touring South India. But early on, and then of course in Bengal, Lord Nityananda Balaram took over. So I was thinking that there was some discrepancy in that statement. What do you think?
Okay, you have a very good point, Prabhu. So Prabhu was saying that he's pointing out what I said, that Lord Krishna in Golok Vrindavan hardly does anything except plays the flute, tends the cows, and performs his pastimes with the different gopis. And as Mahaprabhu, he's working very hard when he comes, and he goes especially prior to the Jagannath Puri pastimes, is so much spreading the Sankirtan movement. So there is a discrepancy. Um, Actually, if I may say so, there is no discrepancy. Mahaprabhu is different from Krishna. Mahaprabhu has the component of Srimati Radharani, and therefore uh, his main work was spread the Sankirtan movement so that we can all, those who understand it properly and follow it properly, we can all enter into the Madhurya or the conjugal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. That was his ultimate goal by giving the Mahamantra to everyone, even the Mayavadis and even the Muslims and all the non-believers, just like our Srila Prabhupada, Nirvisesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarini, giving mercilessly everything, without any mercy. I mean, with so much mercy. I stand corrected, not mercilessly, with so much mercy. He gives all these things to everyone, not considering who they are or what their position is. So, that's the work that was left for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is actually also one point that I wanted to mention as a side note. Uh, when we say Ananga Manjari or Lord Balram in the Madhurya Rasa, actually Ananga means to uh, to join. Ananga means to join. And he actually, by his mercy, we can see the joining of Radha and Krishna as Mahaprabhu. The both of them joining together as Mahaprabhu. Even when they are present in the bowers of Vrindavan, where they are embracing each other, at that time also they feel so much separation, which is called the Vaichitya Bhav, Prema Vaichitya Bhav, where even though Radha and Krishna are together, they feel that they are already separated. They feel so much separation. And that is given by Ananga Manjari, that bhav. And the real bhav that when we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those eyes are given when we see Mahaprabhu is by Lord Balram or Ananga Manjari. And therefore, those are two different pastimes. Although he is the same Krishna of Vrindavan, but he is made to work hard. And actually don't have the time to go into the details, but there was also a nice pastime where I think I mentioned in one of the Radhastami lectures, or actually, no, Mahaprabhu's appearance lectures here, that it was a curse that he had to go to the material world by Vishakha Sakhi. And then you will be in too much separation of Krishna in the bhav of Srimati Radharani, which was in Jagannath Puri. And prior to that, Sankirtan movement. He worked day and night for that. So, so the Dwarkadish Krishna also worked so hard. He spoke Bhagavad Gita in an emergency situation. But Nandanandan Krishna, he is the boy, the wonderful, transcendental flute playing, frolicking in the meadows of Vrindavan. Nothing to do with killing of the demons. The demons are also killed whenever they're killed by Vasudeva Krishna, not by Nandanandan Krishna. So all he does is simply, Lakshmi Sahasra Sada Sambrama Sevyamanam Govinda Vadi Purushottama, where he is simply enjoying with the gopis and with the cows and with the cowherd boys in Vrindavan Dham. So that's all he does.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, two different pastimes, two different bhavas. Mahaprabhu never enjoyed the pastimes with any gopis. In fact, he was a sannyasi. He would chastise. If anybody like Haridas, the junior Haridas had to commit suicide. He never showed those pastimes of conjugal love. No, that's not possible in that lila. So I hope we were able to reconcile. Well, thank you for testing me. I hope I passed. Hare Krishna. Yes. Anybody else? So, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Lord Balram ki, Lord Balram Purnima ki, Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada Gurudev ki Jai.